A warning to all about to listen to this podcast. The following audio may contain spoilers and inappropriate language. However, this podcast will definitely contain some bad opinions. You have been warned, but for now, let's get on with the show.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Anime Abridged Podcast, the place to be for all your favorite anime recommendations and reviews. Just keep in mind your favorite anime might just be a little bit shittier. This particular episode is about AnoHana and it might contain strong spoilers, so just bear in mind as we go through. I am Bleark, you better know me as Nate on Facebook. Yeah, Bleark, I'm better known as Nate on Facebook. And guess who I'm joined here by today? It's Cassie.
You said my name.
I don't want to say your name. And I'm also joined here by Ravi.
Say my name. Ravi.
It's the winged dragon of Ravi. Please respond. But yeah, so today we're just going to do a little bit discussion on AnoHana because we've all watched it. I just watched it recently. I know Cassie watched it recently. It's fucking weird saying your name.
I think I was the one who told you to watch it.
Yeah, no, you told me to watch it and I was toasted down. Ravi, when did you watch it?
Oh, wait, does this show make you cry bitch tears? Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
it's basically the perfect show for that. It's a slice of life, to say the very least, but it's a definite tearjerker.
I still remember the message. I'm at episode 5, and I think I've already cried. And I was like, oh, you're in for a hell of a ride.
So, does either of you two want to do the plot summary at all?
No, it's too heartbreaking. No.
Well, basically, the show is about, your main character, your standard guy who's just...
just a warning before we move on. This podcast is full of a lot of spoilers about this show.
Super heavy, deep spoilers, guys. Well, I mean, the first episode is one of the biggest spoilers of the show, but
Menma's dead.
Yeah, Menma's dead. What? Dude, fucking call the cops. Menma's dead. Anyway. You got your story goes on. Basically, there's a group of kids, they watch their friend die as a kid, and one of the main character himself never really moves on, and it's the story that revolves around him and the friends who go around him in the story. Now, most of the story is a slice of life, and they're trying to... You see Menma in the beginning, you don't understand, but in the first episode, they do break out the news that she is dead at the end of episode 1. To remind you that she's dead. The story progresses around the idea that their friend is gone and her friend's spirit is still lingering around, hanging out around the main character. The main character happens to be a real slobby, neat kind of guy who stopped going to school and stuff like that.
He's trying to figure out why she's there.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he wants to do.
They want to send her off, basically.
For the most, the beginning of the show, he really thinks that she's just, kind of an imaginary figure. This,
pent-up sexual tension. He tries to
convince other people that he really sees her, but he doesn't really believe it himself.
Hey, he's the only one that can see her. That's a big part that we should leave.
Well, he starts off not telling anyone that he can see her, and then as he starts to believe it, he'll say, no, I can see Menma, and then by the very end, he's very solid and saying, I can see Menma, this is what she's saying.
Menma is there.
Yeah.
Menma is dead.
Like, he stops caring that they think he's fucking mental.
Yeah.
Nate, stop spoiling the whole show.
I'm sorry. But yeah, so the whole show revolves around him being the only one that can see him, but his friends, all his friends get together at one point or another in the show because it's all of their friends getting back together.
The first half of the series is kind of the 6 friends all getting back together and talking to each other again because they all kind of split off after elementary school or whatever, and now they're all in high school. And
they're all leading very different lives.
This group when they were kids, and then they all
super peace busters.
They're all living very different lives, and it's all very. They're all radically different. Like the main character himself is just living at home. He's not going to school. But some of the other sub characters, one of them's living in the shack that they used to hang out in, and some of the other characters are going to a super high end school. And it's weird to see that all of them are coming together strangely in a scenario where they wouldn't believe it. But they're all doing it for one purpose.
Over Menma.
Yeah, they're doing it for one purpose, and that would be to help Menma's spirit. And they don't believe it at first. But that's the main plot of the show, is trying to get Menma to go pass on, but they have to believe it. That she's there because they don't believe the main character. I don't fucking remember his name. Someone help.
Jintan.
Yeah, whatever. So they all got cool nicknames for each other.
I don't remember the Yukiyatsu girl's name.
Jintan. Kawaii.
I don't really remember the characters' names.
Suruko. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but I remember the other names.
They've got all special names and shit, and they're all very important characters.
Popo is the best.
Popo is the guy that lives in the shack, and let me tell you, this guy, he's living life on the edge. He's crossing the world, and
he's traveled across the world.
But let's break out into that. Let's just jump into the character development a little bit. Not too much on it, but we see some of the
in episode 10.
Yeah, we see all the characters individually. they have their own feelings for Menma. Not they don't have to be romantic feelings, just like that was a friend that they lost. And like Popo, like his character development is like he's breaking down on the inside because he doesn't know what to do with himself, right? And then
his thing was that he saw her die. And he's sitting on that table.
He was the only one who actually saw it happen.
Yeah, and like the entire time he's so friendly. Like before that, he's so friendly. He's like, "Oh, I believe Menma's there," and he's talking to the ghost, like he's trying to communicate. And then in episode 10, he breaks down and says, "I saw her die," and it's like, holy shit.
It's the deepest shit. And you know,
he's the most jolly, like jovial person in the show.
He's so likable.
He's the best guy.
And when you actually see him like crushed, you know it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when my emotions really kicked in episode 10 when you see him breaking down, because like he's the happiest dude, and then suddenly there's no more joy. You're in a moment of just straight disdain because you feel what this guy is feeling because the guy saw what he saw. And you know, for a kid to see something like that and then hold it in his whole life and never tell anyone that he saw it, it's deep,
and especially a kid like that who like internalizes
and
it
as a
all.
kid, he
and
wasn't
just,
he wasn't very popular. He kind of more like he tried to make, he was that kid who tried to make kids laugh.
Friend.
Yeah, he tried to make people laugh and kind of make his own spot, but he didn't have his own niche.
Right, he didn't like, you know, all the other ones had like interactions with each other where they like liked each other or whatever. But he was just, you know, there for the fun.
Yeah.
Like if there was a love pentagon, there would have been there, but he would have been the one side of the pentagon that no one ever went to.
So he's like that is exactly what he is. He's the one who's not involved in that. It would be
a love rhombus with a pentagon corner. That's what it'd be, a love rhombus, please. Anyway, that's not funny.
Or, you know, just any quadrilateral.
We have to make it a very important statement that maths is not my particular specialty.
You said maths.
Yeah, I did, because Stu's a faggot. By the way, Stu, you're a faggot. Anyway.
He's not going to watch this.
We have to go. I want to go over Menma real quick, because she's pretty much the main character that the story revolves around that's not Jintan. She's one of the most likable characters. There's absolutely nothing wrong with her in terms of her character development. She's nice. She's sweet. She says nothing negative to anyone. She's got a little too much of the cute side going on, but honestly, I think it fits her personality.
That's why I didn't like her at first, but I absolutely loved her by the end. Like the first couple episodes, you know, she's kind of the annoying ghost type thing, but...
Yeah, it just, like, especially her voice actor.
Yeah.
She's voiced by the same person who voiced Yuri in
Angel Beats.
Was it AoHaRuide?
Yeah. No, that's Angel Beats. Yuri's the only Angel Beats.
And, well, her voice actor, it suffices to say that she's awful.
Whoa, let's not jump the gun.
Yeah, no, I remember Dave getting upset about her voice actor. When I looked it up, the first thing I saw was that she voiced Menma, and I was like, what? How could you hate Menma?
How could you possibly hate Menma?
I really like her voice actor because she plays Shiro in the Dead Man Wonderland.
She would have to be playing the right character. I would absolutely hate her voice.
She's got a very, very soft Japanese voice, you know, and I kind of really appreciate that for the characters that she plays. Obviously, she's not going to be playing fucking JoJo from JoJo's Bizarre Circus, but she fits this character perfectly.
Dave likes his manly voices in his anime.
No. That's just for Tai.
Kuretsugo-sama.
So, I am Japanese this year. Anyway. But yeah, no, that's her character, and she's pretty much the only reason... Or she's, in the beginning, she was one of the main reasons I liked the show because of her character, because of her voice actor. And then Jintan started to be less boring, and then the story started progressing, and then you're like, oh, wait, all of these characters are likable in their own one way, especially cross-dressing. I love cross-dressing. So if you're into that kind of thing, this show is just for you. 10 out of 10, show's over. Go find another video on YouTube. All right, guys.
Anyway. I remember trying to defend Yukiatsu too, because all of my friends that I watched it with like a few months ago, they were like, that's really creepy. He's weird. And I was like, no.
That's how he reacts.
Yeah, that's his coping. Like, just...
I was going to say, what'd you guys think of that? What's his head? The guy who did the cross-dressing. What did you guys actually think of that? Yeah, Yukiatsu. He's the best guy, by the way.
He was a total asshole for all of it, and it's completely understandable.
Yeah, like that's how I feel about him. He felt like he loved Menma the most, and that would be upsetting. Why isn't she talking to me? Why him? He doesn't care.
His coping mechanism was to become the Menma. You must be one with the Menma. You must be the Menma.
Yeah, no, I actually really liked his character because I felt like I understood everything, so it was explained.
Especially the cross-dressing.
Yeah, the cross-dressing. I do that on a daily basis. That me and him, we're connecting on a whole new level in a brand new place that I can see. Let's not get into that. But after all of that, I want to get it out of the way. Who's your guys' favorite character? And just
Popo.
Like realistically, just Popo. Is it Popo for you?
I love Popo.
Ravi?
He wasn't the deepest character, but everything Popo did I liked. He was the one who kind of like held them all together.
I like Menma, but yeah, I have to say Popo.
I want to be that guy who says the main character is the best, because I loved watching his emotional story, his emotional ride, because he was the one who had to deal with it all. My favorite
character might have been Anaru. I really liked her. Yeah.
Oh God, was that the blonde chick? She was so good.
She wasn't redhead.
No, was it blonde or red? I don't remember.
No, it was just like she was the one who seemed the most confused, just like the most like teenager-ish. Like she was so confused, didn't know her place, and she was just kind of struggling with that the entire time. I liked her character a lot.
Yeah,
she was the fan service of the show. Just to point out, she was the boobs flopping on the bed and the accidental skirt shots kind of girl. I don't think they did that, but she was definitely a lot of fan service in the show. I really loved her character because she was a lot of the time she was kind of really goofy. I think that's fair to say, but a lot of times she was just goofy about some of the situations because she didn't know how to act, and I can kind of appreciate that coming from where my background was.
Also,
I would act
just
goofy.
Honorary mention to Jintan's dad for being an amazing character.
Oh, dude, Jintan's dad, dude, like, and his beliefs, dude, that he says like, I'll let my kid do whatever he wants as long as he's not getting in trouble. Fucking A, dude, right on. Except for that's terrible parenting, but you know.
Speaking of parents, character I actually hate most from the show.
Menma's mother.
Menma's mom. Basically, Menma's mom had this issue as she couldn't let her kid's death go. And now she had 2 kids. The little brother actually played a rather important character towards the end, too. But Menma's mom couldn't get over the death. Oh, God, when Menma saw him, that made me cry, too. God.
But she had the memory of him, like, playing with the toy.
Well, no, like she ran up and hugged him, and he was like, "Oh, I smell something familiar." In that entire scene, I was like, "Oh, fuck."
But you guys remember the scene?
Fogging my vision. I can't.
You guys remember the scene though when they first walk into Menma's house without telling Menma, and they meet her mom, and you think, "Oh, Menma's mom's just a nice girl. She's just a little psychotically, traumatized by the death of her kid." And you know what parent wouldn't be? That's a realistic reaction, but. The second time they go to her house, they're trying to ask for permission for building a rocket because their dad's like some sort of
it's when she goes crazy and she's all like, "Oh, you guys are enjoying this. You're just having fun because Menma's dead." It's like, what?
Yeah.
What?
She basically goes apeshit, and she starts like, I don't know, like just she starts like, whose hand does she grab?
Anaru.
Yeah, she grabs her hand and just starts squeezing real tight while screaming and shouting, "This is all your fault," basically, and she just has this absolute apeshit.
No, I think she accuses them of having fun off of Menma's death. Yeah. She's like, "You guys only ate it.
Oh, you guys have gotten over it and you don't care anymore."
Yeah. Like you're just using Menma's death as an excuse to make a firework because you want to have fun or something, and it's kind of that idea. I don't know how she worded it.
As hateable as a character as that might be, I think that was a really good emotional pivot in her character, because without that...
The fact that she showed up to it as well, like the dad took her there for like closure type thing when the firework went off, that was cool.
Yeah. No, that was a big part too, because, well, spoilers, Menma doesn't actually disappear at that point, and there's a reason that she doesn't disappear at that point, but, we don't have to tell the end of the show. So, basically, I don't know, I disliked her as a character, but I enjoyed her emotional...
Well, I don't think anyone could have really liked her.
But I think they did that on purpose, and I think they did it well.
It's just the whole idea that she's super sensitive to everything, but she doesn't think anybody else could be sensitive to it.
Yeah,
exactly.
She's the only one who cares. Even her father doesn't care anymore. In comparison,
and the little brother has that little outburst. It's like every time you make curry, you're always fucking giving her curry. Can you just stop?
I mean, I would be too. Well, I would be too. It's a weird scenario being the kid that got forgotten because of something like that. And it's a weird emotion to try to get into, because obviously none of us are ever going to hopefully never feel that kind of emotion. But
see, and it doesn't seem like it negatively affected him that much. The kid seems pretty normal, and he shows up to the thing of his own free will and all that. It's not like he resents his sister.
But at the same time, he's really apathetic towards everything else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think he just
that might just be
really fast.
People are apathetic. That happens.
No, I think he didn't seem too bad off.
Yeah,
they could have made him a really
because of the situation. He had to grow up really fast, and that's what made him his own independent character.
The dad's department.
The dad seemed pretty normal.
Prevented him from being completely closed off to everything else. Yeah. He actually made him to be a real person just by
can you imagine how overprotective that mother must have been after Menma died?
Yeah.
Poor kid.
Man, seriously.
His dad just toned down his mother.
Yeah.
It must have been an emotional ride for her dad too, but obviously the dad in the show you see has obviously grown up from the situation. He's moved on from it. It sucks probably, but he's just.
It probably sucks.
It's probably the next level of shit happens. It's one of those things. But all in all, like what I gotta say, I really like this story because the plot. Like the plot was so well executed, and the way they went about Menma's actual final disappearance, that was pretty much the spot in the show where I thought this was probably the 10 out of 10 slice of life that I have that's not Clan Ad. Yeah, I gave Clan Ad like an 8.
I gave it a 10.
Yeah, it's an easy 10. But yeah, no, just what do you guys think of those final thoughts though?
Man.
Yeah, that's some deep final thoughts.
Have a moment of silence for Menma.
You found me.
Menma's dead.
See you, space cowboy.
You know what's funny is that that night we were talking to Valk. We were looking for that stupid song that Valk's probably listening to right now.
Mm-hmm.
I found the live concert version, and they were just. It was basically they were the band who did the song or whatever, the ladies, whoever they were doing their performance, and like before the song started, like the music started but the lyrics hadn't started, the main character had like shouted Menma, or no, someone in the crowd shouted it out, and I thought it was one of the funniest things on the planet. But let's just get into the 3 Rs, and yeah, I give this a 10 out of 10. I'd rewatch it.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10
this is a circle jerk again, by the way, in case you hadn't noticed.
Yeah, no, this is just I would recommend it to anyone.
This is an easy recommendation.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you have emotions and aren't, purposefully edgy, then you might like this show.
We have 2 people who are intentionally edgy in this call.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not that edgy, am I?
I wasn't counting you.
Oh, wow. Okay, all right. The foot comes down. The shoe's off. Fucking hell. No, I mean, if you think about it, though, this is a straight slice of life show. So if you're not into slice of lives, maybe it's not for you.
I don't give a shit. Watch it anyway.
This is definitely something I'd say give a chance, even if you're not really into it.
Also, I didn't get into it right away. I actually almost dropped it after 3 episodes. Like, I watched 3 episodes of it originally and stopped watching it for like 3 or 4 days. And then I just kind of casually went back to it thinking, I guess I'll watch more of it. And then I finished the entire thing.
Probably the fact that the characters are like really bizarre at the beginning.
Yeah, I don't think, like, if you don't have any background on it, you don't really understand what's going on at first, and you don't know what it's amounting to, kind of. I don't know. But, like, yeah, I just, like, you kind of casually met some of the characters. It was just, like, I don't really have a reason to care about them right now. They were all friends when they were kids, whatever. Like,
whatever, they're just kids.
But yeah, as soon as I went back to it, I was fucking hooked. So I would say if you're gonna watch it, watch more than 3 episodes.
4 episodes, I'd say, because that's, like, I was into it since episode 1, but 4 episodes is pretty much where it gets pretty intense. Emotionally, because that's when you realize there's other characters and they're starting to be part of the story. And whoa, fucking clown voice. Whoa, fucking.
Are you okay, Nate?
Yeah, but guys, the animation, beautiful.
It was
10 out of 10.
Yeah,
the animation
I wouldn't say anything that was exceptional about it, but I liked it.
It wasn't exceptional, but it was like
I thought it was beautiful. The scenery, particularly, especially in the rocket episode when the clouds are all gray, but they're still launching the rocket.
The colors, like the like kind of like toned down colors, but like like not so whitewashed as some shows, like maybe Eden of the East or I don't know, like Studio Ghibli toned down.
Ghibli's high budget, low production value.
Yeah, it looked nice.
Anime was a mistake, quote Hayao Miyazaki. Don't ever quote Hayao Miyazaki. He doesn't like anime, okay? It's just baby cartoons. Also, the OP, I just have to say right now, fucking Maximum Relaximum. Yeah. That shit was fucking top tier.
That OP is so good.
This is like one of the only shows, this entire show, that I've actually sat down every episode and listened to the OP every time because I actually enjoyed the song.
See, I did it with the OP and the ED.
The ED I can't even listen to anymore because now like it hurts to listen to because they play that song towards the last scene.
They always play it the last scene, and the last scene is always emotional, and it's always like good fuck. And then you hear the start of the song, and you're just like, when I rewatched it with my friends a couple months ago, it was after the first episode. The ED started playing, and I was like, oh god, keep it together.
It's like someone has a hammer and they're about ready to hit you in the face.
And then I drank 16 drinks and threw up.
Followed by immense crying, the fetal position, and then feels.
I think I was too drunk to cry.
Not particularly in that order, but
you were too dehydrated to cry.
That was bad. Yeah. Like, I think within the last episode, I'd already had like 9 or so drinks, and within the last 2 episodes, I started just pounding drinks, and I was like, I'm not gonna cry.
So yeah, guys, if you really think you don't want to cry watching Menma, drink a lot of water.
Drink until you
alcohol.
Don't know what's going on.
If you get drunk and watch this show, you probably will cry, because I watched it sober and I was getting pretty heartfelt. But like, I just imagine my loose, unemotional, super fucking free drunk self watching this show, breaking out and crying, followed by finding someone's phone number, calling them, and being like, "Menma's dead."
White girl wasted.
Oh God, I'm such a fucking waste. I can't. I'm so light. It doesn't even matter. I don't want to talk about my drinking habits, okay?
Guys, I'm going to start drinking 20 minutes later. Guys, I think I had...
Hey, let's be fair, okay? 20 shots in 5 seconds is not exactly normal. It may not have been that amount, and it may not have been that time frame. But you know. Anyway. But yeah, it's a great show. I'm definitely probably going to rewatch it one of these days.
Yeah.
I'm down.
When do you think you'll rewatch it next?
Within the next month or so.
It's not a question of will you rewatch it. When will you rewatch it next?
Yeah, pretty much. This is a rather short episode, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We actually stayed on topic the whole time.
A short episode might not be so bad, though.
I'm okay with a short episode. Yeah. So you guys just want to wrap it up then?
Yeah.
Sure. Let's wrap it up.
Thoughts?
We talked about it.
All right, guys.
Yeah, go watch AnoHana.
Yeah. Love it. Cry bitch tears. Everything else that you need to know is probably on Wikipedia. On, Mal.
Just Mal. Just go to our Mal, the Anime Abroad Podcast. Just look it up. It's on our Mal. Whatever.
Also,
plugs.
Because nothing has come up with this podcast, we have to mention shit 0. Never
shit out of 0. Fate 0 is shit out of 10. Dave, I'm sorry. I'm not really sorry. He's going to edit this out.
Just watch.
Yeah. Also, if you ever hear Tom talking about AnoHana, he's just inherently wrong. That's not a question. That is just a statement. And that is a true statement. Anyway, so thank you for listening to the podcast. Feel free to rate, comment, subscribe, whatever. Do it all. Fucking hit us up on Facebook. We got it at Twitter. We got our Tumblr up and running. Ravi actually has that rolling the stuff and stuff.
Expect some more AnoHana gifts about bitch tears.
Please,
you already have a lot of those.
I don't know who's doing the Twitter, but I think it's Dave, and I think we're going to get some more posts on that. But yeah, so I've been joined here by Cassie. I hate that name.
I'll see you later.
And Ravi.
Yep.
What is it? I wish they could see that one.
Anyway, my name is Nate, and we'll see you on the next episode.